We are live. All right, I like it. This is the Omi Show. I'm here with my co-host Cope, and we was getting into a big conversation. So I want to make sure that we bring it to the people. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that the people get to see what we was talking about, and because I'm saying that like an hour is not nearly enough time. You know,
It's,
I mean, we got to figure a day when we get a full show, a way we
mm,
can get us a 2 3 hour show.
exactly.
Sending that out there to all the producers out there. Just
Exactly.
throwing that out there to all our producers, funders, people that sponsor podcasts, all that. We need us a good 3 hour show.
We need
All
us at the
right.
table. We do more table reads of different brands. So if you're listening, you want to get your brand out there. We want to support through our contact audience.
100%. So we started this conversation about America 250 at the end of the show. So if you're watching, know that this is a continuation of the Omi shows that on SiriusXM channel 126. And because we run out of time, we decided to come up here and go live and give y'all a little bit of what we was talking about because it gets so juicy at the end. And we're like, we wish we had another hour. So here we gave ourselves a little bit more time. We was getting to this narrative though that was real juicy that I love. So we was talking about NAACP, and I think like this is also an interesting call for just black serving orgs overall, or orgs that serve a particular amount of, even if you're Hispanic serving, like orgs that have been historically serving particular groups. When we look at America 250, right? So I just came back from the Consumer Electronics Show, CES, and they had a woman there that was from America 250. They're doing a slew of different things. I read off, I'll pull it back up. If you want to know what is happening for the celebration of America's 250 university, Lord have mercy, 250 anniversary, go to america250.org and you can take a look at all the things that they got that people are putting out there that they're going to be doing. Right now, there is a request for information available for you to work with America 250. What I was saying to Cope is it feels a little slick though. It feels like, do I go say I'm working with America 250? Does the entity go submit to the RFI, to the request for information, to be a vendor for America 250, and you just don't know what our president is gonna say next. Like the president may come out and be like, "Yeah, America 250, make America great again." Now you looking like you MAGA.
Yeah, that's the challenge. That's a challenge. But also the other challenge is if you are a black serving institution and your constituency, your benefit, the people who benefit from your work are black people, and you don't like actually step up to what the table is that they're providing at the 50, who's going to do it?
But are they going? Well, true. Okay, true. And this is the gift and the curse to it all. If you don't do it, who will do it? If America 250 I'm just reiterating what Cope said. America 250, the leadership, if you look at it, is very diverse. You got everybody from freaking Kellyanne Conway to, um, bunches of senators from Democratic senators. Like it is Pam Bondi's there, Representative Bonnie Watson's there. You here, then you there, then you get like the level of like Lonnie Bunch is on this leadership. So there's a lot there. I'm hoping that having all those voices at the table will mean a better evaluation of what it means to celebrate America's 250 years.
I'm sure it, I'm sure it will. I think that there will be, at least geographically, a desire to spread the resources of the celebration around to at least the states that supported Trump. You know what I mean? I'm not saying every state, but you're going to try to make sure you're going to have to spread it around. And when they do that, you have to, you're going to go to some urban spaces where black people have to be dealt with. And it's either outside that's going to be dealing with the black community, it's going to be the entities that already serve the black community that are going to step up. But I think this speaks to a larger issue. This is America's 50th anniversary. and the black population in this country doesn't seem to have of not demands, but an approach to how what's the strategy at this marker to sort of galvanize any civic or political will toward, especially with DEI. We were talking about how organizations like the NAACP were able to sort of leverage and create the leverage that was the need for federal government to prepare against the civil rights abuses that happened, and that was kind of legislated or in action.
It's like you're kind of going in and out. I don't know if it's me or
let me see.
It's like every other word's kind of. I can hear you, but maybe you have to speak up just a little bit. I'm not exactly sure.
So what I'm thinking is,
oh yeah, that sounds good.
That the federal government just really had to figure out what they were going to like. The federal government had to executive orders. Jimmy Johnson had an executive order that required 10% diversity within federal contractors. That was removed. There was legislation that created, or the legal framework created affirmative action. With these things going, and America marking its 250th anniversary, there has to be a new approach. PR-wise, campaign. It doesn't seem like the NAACP has a campaign to respond to this moment that creates a new narrative or a new reason why Black people and America deserve to be at the table, and what should be the platform of what we're fighting.
Yeah, I think that, so this is interesting in terms of like, okay, this is a wild time to be like, let's celebrate America at all. You know what I mean? Like that is my thought. Is like, let's celebrate America right now. Like it just so happens that our 250th anniversary falls on a year where we have one of the most evasive dictator-like presidents like ever at this point, right?
It really is. But it's interesting. I think that's why their approach is going to be very America first, in terms of celebrating America with America, not necessarily inviting tourists and visitors in. It's going to be a celebration. Yeah. So like when you think of FIFA is happening at the same time. And I'm not sure if Donald Trump will romance by the global stage it is, or he will then try to make sure that it's really focused on the America 250, which happens on July 4th. And that could be the celebration. Who cares about FIFA? Who cares about the internet? That's where we're probably going.
That you think we're going in a direction where America 250 will be Americans celebrating America, is not a global stage. Well, Trump sort us out of a bunch of global engagement too, like UN councils and things like that. So, but this is what makes me nervous about applying for the funding. Right? It makes me nervous about applying for the funding because this America First narrative, I don't vibe with the way he's talking about it. Meaning, like, if it was a matter of like instilling pride in all American citizens for the land that we live on, right? It did not mean it be excluding our participation as a great global player. It just means like, but if America First meant that, we'd be having a different conversation. If America First, in his definition, didn't mean MAGA, and essentially like, listen, ICE killing a white woman is also like, hey y'all, they don't like women either. Like, oh, y'all just thought they didn't like black people? No, they don't like, these men only like white men. Like, they don't like LGBT people, but they the gayest acting people. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, these men only like white men. They only want to be in the company of white men. They only want the power to be settled into white men's hands. That is like, if that's not clear, I don't know what else to tell y'all, white women or whoever out there that's thinking that like, oh, but it's going to be fine for us. It's not going to be fine for you.
I whether white women were saying it's fine for them or not, one of the things,
I mean, I don't think white women are saying it's fine for them. Definitely not all of them, because not the ones I know. But I'm
exactly.
just saying.
But beyond that, what I would say is the the dialogue, what people feel comfortable talking about nowadays, whether online or on media platforms, has really devolved. Like because when we talk about this lady that was murdered in Minnesota by the ICE agent, whether self defense or not, what the commentators were talking about about this lady was like about her sexuality, right? How all of a sudden someone's sexuality while being shot in the feet. It's like it's so
This is what I mean. The way that Fox News described this lady was
Mhm.
almost painting it as if she deserved it was okay for her to die. Like this is where it's going too far. You know what I'm saying? Like one thing of like, okay, I don't like you because you're black, I don't like you because you're white, I don't like you because you're Spanish. Blah, blah, blah. Not that that's okay. I'm not saying that that's okay. But I'm just saying, like, if it's set in our emotions of I just don't like you, that's one thing. When we talk about these isms and they become institutional, isms are institutional. Like,
Mhm.
it's not just, oh, I didn't like, you didn't like. In that case, it like people got to wake up and be like, yo, wait a minute, this is something else. Like, even if you were MAGA, even if you team Trump, whatever, like, wake up to the fact of like, wait a minute,
No,
this part is not, you know what I mean? It's like that part, that's what makes it so sort of like eerie to be celebrating the America 250. But then again,
you remember school days,
yeah,
and at the end when Hops
it's
was
ringing the bell.
ringing the bell and saying "Wake up," and the idea that you're in a daze sometimes when you're in school and you don't think about what really matters across the world. And I think that's what that represented to me in that moment. And I think about right now we're in this, like, let's celebrate America. Let's celebrate Antifa. And what we're actually living through is the days of the dictatorship. Like we're getting to the point where there's extrajudicial killings off the shore in the Caribbean, and because they say without evidence there's drug dealing, that means that they should be murdered without having a trial. That precipice allows them to then come to Minnesota and say because she was an agitator, she can actually just be murdered. Like that's not the results that we should expect from whether you're a drug dealer, you shouldn't be murdered because you're a drug dealer, you should go to jail, possibly if they have evidence. And then now you can be murdered because you're driving past an officer and they think that you're driving after. But
So
then they
the
more
question
time.
too, the
The
question here
separate third
becomes, because look, we talking about America 250 years.
Mhm.
This makes you question the idea of make America great again or make it. I mean, don't get me wrong, we was already questioning it. But what I mean is like, I don't. That's a I don't know. Maybe I'm just like a serial optimist because I'm like the average person who voted for Trump, even if you voted for him for business reasons, I'm looking at you being like, this what you believed in though? Like you believe that like human life was not important against a couple behaviors that you against I didn't agree with you agitating the system. I didn't agree with you being an activist. Like
Like
to
that you
your
should die
point,
because you're an activist. Like,
that's
was that what people were always thinking?
is that what they were thinking? That's what I mean. Like, are people MAGA by any means necessary, or like, or are people waking up? I don't know, and I don't know. Like, people don't poll. The polls don't ask you this hard hitting question. Like, do
Yeah.
you believe that? Do you believe that just because somebody is an agitator, they should die? Like, that's not a question. This was one thing when it was like a ball being kicked around in the field, but it's a different thing when the ball is a bullet.
Exactly.
Right. You know what I mean? Like it was like, oh yeah, fodder is fodder. Oh, Trump's doing his natural narrative of wanting all the attention. Oh, he's doing his whatever, kicking around, whatever. I even think that people are not okay with it, but they're a little bit more numb when it's like, oh, like what's happening in Venezuela. People are a little bit more numb. It's a little bit more like logic. Like, oh, well, of course, like those who were Trump believers, supporters may find themselves being like, oh, it was oil. Oh, that makes sense for us to do. Oh, well, like we're disregarding again, America's 250 year uh antics of freaking colonialism and taking over people's stuff and taking over the people's things and like the people thinking it's gonna be reprieve, but we're not with exploitive vulnerability. Like I think that like there was a numbness to all of that when it was like not at home. But if there's not a wake up somewhere right now, I don't know what to tell people. And when we think about like our entities that are supposed to be serving different minorities, I think that like people it's a little bit of a chokehold on like a NAACP or like a Hispanic serving institution because it's kind of like you got the government like somebody ahead of it in all the different branches saying, "Oh no, we're not gonna set aside this money for y'all." They're saying they're not gonna set us. They're gonna take away $10 billion in child care set asides in blue states. That is wild. Like they don't. These people don't care. It's real savage right now. Y'all gotta go and vote, yo. Like people
It's
gotta get out to
actually,
vote.
but the cruelty, like we talked about last year, the cruelty is the plan. So the idea that the cruelty outcome isn't desired is where things seem to be at odds. We're making
Mm.
it like, why would you be cruel? As opposed to, you want to be cruel, but you can't be that cruel. That's where they're at. They're like taking. Remember, they said that they were okay with SNAP benefits going away, taking food from babies. They were comfortable with taking food from babies, right? So that they can take healthcare from people, right? Like so, understand this, the shutdown was so that they could take healthcare from people. And then they were willing to allow to not go into baby child. Those are the people that we typically stop that would take away healthcare, take away child care. You can't be shocked by them. They want to, you should be shocked if you even left it open. Right? Like, oh, I know that they're going to probably take away every support in the care economy that's possible. You have to think about that. That's where we're going. They're going to go. They're looking for those ways to remove the capital so that they can balance the budget away from the taxes and the tax breaks that they want to do themselves.
So, speaking of government shutdown, going back to these ACA subsidies, Congress has 4 weeks to dodge another government shutdown. Lawmakers are back in Washington this week for a 4-week sprint to finish funding the government before the current spending law runs out on January 30th. If they fail, they will need to pass another short-term extension or spark another government shutdown just 2.5 months after the last one, the longest funding lapse in U.S. history. Funding the government usually requires the passing of 12 individual bills. Lawmakers approved 3 as a part of the deal to end last fall's shutdown, and they also extended current funding levels for the rest of the government into January. Those levels were last set in March 2024. But it would be challenging to finalize the remaining bills, which have not yet been formally negotiated between the House and the Senate or approved by congressional leaders. Appropriators must navigate political pressures from the right and the left. Fiscal hawks, including many of the conservative House Freedom Caucus, insist that funding levels for most agencies should not be higher than the last fiscal year. But Democrats must also approve any funding agreement, which has to receive at least 60 votes in the Senate to bypass the filibuster. Republicans control the upper chambers, 53 to 47. The two appropriations committee chairs, Rep. Tom Cole and Senator Susan Collins, announced in late December that they had finally reached an agreement on the total spending level they'll shoot for in the remaining bills. They did not reveal the overall cost, but Cole said it's lower than the amount if Congress were to pass another funding extension, known as a continuing resolution. Senator Patty Murray of Washington, the top Democrat of the Senate Appropriations Committee, slammed the chamber's new released Homeland Security spending bill in December, calling it partisan and pledging to fight for accountability in Trump's, quote, out of control Department of Homeland Security. So the fight is on. It's time for it to come back. We're gonna see what happens in the coming weeks. Around whether or not we're going to go into another shutdown, whether or not we're going to see healthcare subsidies completely go away. The story is telling itself. That's why I think it's kind of crazy to have we got 250 years of America they're trying to celebrate in this year, but there's like so much it's so volatile. It's so there's so many narratives. To your point, should the NAACP come out with their own 250th anniversary narrative? Should they come out with their own America First narrative?
They should. I mean, where are we at? How can it hurt us? They came out with Project 2025. They have plans and they're making them. They're going to consistently make plans. We need to make our own plan, have our own Project 2030. Like, we need to have things that we're doing, and there are people that are doing this pockets. I feel like,
I want to acknowledge that there are organizations that are working on this kind of thing. I just want to say I got to get out of here, but to everybody out there, listen, I think the most important thing you could do, well, one of the most important things you do, not the most, one of them is make sure you're following all of your local elections, because I know that there's a lot of national narratives going on. I know there's a lot of national fights. There's a lot of things happening on a national stage, but the reality is it's hyper local. Look at your state. Look at your local. I don't care if it's down to your school board. Be in the know. Be looking at who these candidates are, and make sure you're going out and voting when it's time to go out and vote, because this is a powerful year in multiple different ways. A powerful year for Trump to keep trying to do all he can do until if fingers crossed, a wave of better Americans get in office. Let me say that. Because at this point, I don't even want to put it on Democrat or Republican. I want to say we need a wave of better Americans in office. Yeah. That's what I'm going to say. And so in that case, until then, and you had the power, like we as the people had the power to do that work. At least now, it seems like we do. I know sometimes it's like we don't got the power because Trump is just left and right. Do this, no, you do this, no, you take that over, no, you take that over. Stop that. Pull these people out of office. Put these people in office. Go kill these people. Like it is. We are definitely operating under a dictatorship right now, whether we want to call it or not. We're definitely operating in interestingly enough. Anyway, I won't go there because it'll open up a whole nother conversation. I gotta go. Thank y'all so much. This is the Omi Show. This is America First. I'm sorry, Lord. America 250 conversation. Listen to the Omi Show every Sunday on SiriusXM channel 126. And here, we always take the topics here right after because it's just not enough time for us to get in all that we need to talk about. I appreciate y'all. My co-host, Cope. Always chopping it up. Appreciate the perspective that you bring. Y'all keep follow, subscribe, like, all those things. If you're not watching on YouTube right now, if you're watching on LinkedIn, if you're watching on Instagram, go to YouTube and look up at The Omi Show and make sure you subscribe. More to come, y'all. We're just kicking it off. So we still at the top of the year, which is crazy. I didn't even give you out a rundown on everything that happened at CES. I want to come back and do that. So I would say keep it locked at The Omi Show on YouTube. All right, y'all. Next time. Till next time.
All right, bye.